All right, I'm going to talk to you guys about the pads that I got because I'm old and I want to be able to go to work. So I don't want to get injured as much as possible while I'm learning how to skate. So in my very first videos, you might see that I'm not wearing anything. I wore jeans as my protection. And I did wear a helmet because I had a helmet. And that's it. Quickly after I started, slipping and falling a little bit on the concrete, I felt like I needed to have elbow and knee pads. So I went over to a local skate shop. I talked with one of the guys. I told him I wanted, elbow and knee pads. And I got this particular brand, this RKDs or REKDs. Anyway, they were $50 for a whole pack. And the reason I got those instead of just getting the knees and the elbow is because the guy there told me, he's like, look, if I get anything, I'm getting wrist guards. So I'm not going to get the knee or elbow pads. The wrist guards are what you're going to need. So I listened to him, I got them, I wore them. But again, this company, it's like the cheapest stuff you can get. So it's hard plastic. You get some padding on the inside and stuff. All it's really protecting you is some scrapes, and when you fall down, you're not going to get too banged up and stuff. But if you're going to go do anything that's a little bigger, this isn't going to work very well for you. You're still going to really feel the impact. And on the wrist, this happened in another video when I went out to Denver. The wrist guards aren't going to protect you against anything other than when you're standing up and maybe you try to ollie and slip out and fall, and you're 4 or 5 foot fall type of thing, because just where you're standing to the ground. That's about all they're going to be good for. So I was wearing those when I did my fall in a pretty large pool. It was a 6-foot drop into a 4-foot waterfall. So it was 10 feet of fall by the time I lost my balance, hit the wall on the other side, and just kind of smashed into it. And I broke my wrist. And I got a plate and 9 screws in it now with wrist guards on. So after that, I wore those same wrist guards, plus the brace that they gave me after I had the surgery. But that's not a very good idea, actually. Plus, after I researched this a little bit more, if you get something that really immobilizes your wrist, like a brace, if you've got a fracture and they want to keep you immobile, what it does is it'll protect your wrist, but your fingers, because there's no flexion here, it'll actually cause you to break your fingers when you fall instead. So I went out and I got these flex meters. This is a FlexMeter D30, and it's double-sided. So it's got a palm pad right there. There's the logo you can look up, FlexMeter D30s, and this is the large size. So these were actually developed by a doctor instead of skaters. I'm good with that. And they've just got 2 little Velcro straps on them. But these, they come up a little bit farther than what you'd be used to on the others. Only with the large. With the mediums, they only come to about this line. So you get another 1.5 to 2 inches when you get the large size. It doesn't really matter circumference-wise. They're about the same. So it's more about length on what you want to protect. And then it's got a lot of flex back here, but just enough flex to where it doesn't break your fingers when you fall, but it protects your wrist still. And so these things I've loaned these out to people as they're learning how to drop in and stuff, and I'm helping coach them. And they've been used a lot now. So anyway, they're working great. I personally haven't had to use them, thankfully. I haven't had a big fall in a while. So anyway, I think these things are awesome. And then I went out and I also got a set of the 187 killer pads, knee pads. These are the derbies. So they make 2 of them. There's the skater one and the derbies. The reason I got the derbies is because the derbies are supposed to have a hinge in them. So I don't know if you can't hear it, you can't see it here, but there is a hinge that's actually in these. They're not quite as thick and as padded as the skate version, but they are more comfortable if you're going to be standing up and you're not constantly in that crouched position, bowl skating or vert skating or something. And I felt like that made more sense for me. I have practiced in learning how to slide on my knees on half pipes, so on wood. I don't really use them on the concrete just because the concrete's so rough and I don't know how they'll slide down, or if I'm just going to end up smacking my face when I go down anyway. So I usually run it out when I make a mistake on concrete, and I don't have any wood around me. So what they've turned into is just a lot of extra padding to protect my knees in case I go down, because I really don't know how to use these properly on the concrete. So I don't know if they're doing that much better than these little cheap ones. I mean, they do have a lot more padding. That's nice. But these cheap ones too, and this will happen with a lot of them, you got to slip your leg or your arm through, and then there's straps that go on afterwards to tighten it. So they don't go over pants or anything easily. These just Velcro in from the back. So they've got a double Velcro system here. And so you get the first one around your leg, and then you've got your next one that comes through and back. And so you get you tighten it that way. So it's sort of double tightened, and it all goes on the outside of you. So if you've got, your jeans on or whatever, it's all go on the outside, and they're great. I love those. So yeah, just easier to use. And that's all I got for protective gear right now. Thanks.